these are the supplies that you're going to need to make your snowball ornament using a My Besties image. And I'm going to go ahead and start with, this is the, it's like a styrofoam ball. It comes in a package of 9 from Michaels. And what I did was, it did not have an ornament cap to it. So I bought some charity shop ornaments and took all the caps off. And this is what I used. And I cut these little pieces off, and then I hot glued it to this styrofoam type ornament ball. And you can't really use a glass one because you're going to be poking into it, and you can't use a plastic one. This one worked the best. It's like I said, it's like a styrofoam, but it's got all these little, I don't know if you can see all these little type of beads around it. And so it just worked perfect for what I wanted to do. You could probably use a styrofoam ball and then decorate the outside of it yourself. But this is what I used for my base. The next thing I did was I colored up this image. It is part of 029. The image number is 029. It's a My Besties. She's adorable. This was like the very first image that I purchased because I was so excited when I saw this one. She's just so cute. So I wanted to replicate that in 3D. So that's why I bought the styrofoam ball. If you look at the original Digi, which I will have at the beginning of this video, you will see what I'm trying to create by using just the top part of her. So in order to, I also wanted to make her actually 3D. So I colored her up, and then I printed her off 3 times. And I just cut pieces off to make it a 3D layer. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that too later in the video. But for right now, this is like layer 1, layer 2. This one's missing the top, and then her elbows, and then layer 3, and you can just see basically it's a head and the hat, and then layer 4 will just be the hat that goes on top. The other things you're going to be needing is, if you have a die that is a holly leaf, any holly leaf die works. I'm going to be putting that on there too, and a couple of beads that I had. And then if you save any of your packaging, you will need a piece of this acrylic, just acrylic strip, and this is what I used to hold her up on the ball. And I also put this through the ball, and I'll show you how I do that later in the film too, in the video. So I guess that's all our supplies for right now, other than we will be needing a hot glue gun, and oh, I have some ribbon too. That's going to be the ornament holder, because again, if you look at the image, she is resting on the top right here, so the ornament, this part right here, is not actually what would hang on the tree, and this will allow you to actually hang this on the tree. Trying to think if there was something else I need to tell you to get. Hot glue gun is it. Oh, foam tape to put your image together, and that's it. And I'll get going with putting it together for you. I'm going to go ahead and put the 3D together for you. That's how simple it is. I already have the tape, the foam tape on the back, and you just basically line up. So she lines up. That's layer 2 on layer 1. And then we have layer 3. And then we have layer 4. Like I said, just the tape that's on the back. And that's pretty much how quick it is to put 3D together. Obviously the hardest part, some people would say, would be cutting it out. I actually enjoy that. So anyway, there you go. That's what your 3D looks like when you're finished. And that is what's going to be going on top of my ornament. So I'll get the next step ready for you. there's one more tool that you are going to be needing in order to, well, it was the easiest thing for me to use anyway. In order for you to get this acrylic strip that I told you about, I should have told you about how big this acrylic strip is. I would definitely cut it 3 inches. I have it probably a little bit less than that, but I would definitely cut it 3 inches. And then what I did, if you can see, is I made a point so that it would be easy to slide into the styrofoam. It won't poke into the styrofoam very well, so what I do is just like when you do a nail, you always start with a little hole. Well, I have used the X-Acto knife, and here's the deal. Once you do it, it's so hard to see sometimes in this styrofoam, but anyway, it's right there. And how did I decide to make that part right there is I held my image, my 3D image, up to where I wanted her to sit. So I knew that that's where I'm going to put the plastic. And then I'm going to hot glue her elbows down, and not the whole back of this plastic. The only part of the plastic that really needs to be adhered to the back of her, and you have to be really careful because that hot glue is hot and it actually melts through this acrylic. So all I do is I'll hole punch this to put the ribbon through, and then I'll put just a little bit of hot glue, very little bit, and I'll actually put it on the paper and wait just a little bit to let it cool off, and then I'll put this down. That is how I'm going to be putting that on. I'm not really going to do it on taping it, but that is what I will do. And the the acrylic will go to the side because of how she is on. It won't go straight up. It'll go to the side, and she'll be sitting on like that. I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to show it to you after I hot glue it. So there you go for right now. I kind of changed my mind, and I'm going to see if I can attempt to show you how to do this while I'm filming. Like I said, it's kind of hard when I have the hot glue and trying to watch what I'm doing. But right now what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of hot glue on her elbows like I told you, and I am lining that up to how I want her to look on there. And I'm just going to hold down her elbows for a minute, just like that. And that's pretty secure right there. And then you can see that I have her acrylic. Whoops! I have the acrylic piece right there, so I can put the ribbon through, and she's just going to sit right on there. So, let's see if I can do that for you. You can see the back and how I've got that coming out of the styrofoam. And see, that's what I was afraid of. If I moved it around too much, it's going to come undone, and it has. So, but I wanted to give you some idea of what it looked like. I'm going to have to hot glue that back down. And I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right there to secure, because there has to be, you see how that goes? That's just how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it off and then show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have her, the ornament completed now, and I've added the holly leaf and the berries right there. I hot glued those on, and I've added the, if you can see probably maybe a little bit on the back, there's a little bit of glue that I told you I was going to put on. Like I said, I waited just a tad bit, let it cool off, and then I pushed that plastic up against it, and it was fine. I hole punched the top of the acrylic, if you can see that, and put the ribbon through it. And so she's going to be hanging up so that she hangs more to the side, which will look more, like I said, how the digi really looks. I'm going to be adding some stickles to her hat and to the part of her cuffs also. So I'll take some pictures of this separately at the beginning, and you'll be able to see it at the end too. So that's what it looks like. So I hope you give this a try. It'll be really fun. And don't forget, Sherri Baldy always has a sale going on at either her Etsy store or her Scrapbook Stamp Society store, and I will have those links down below in the description box. Thanks so much.